13 of them. Let's take a look at the starting lineup now for the Blue Devils. Thornton and Suleiman in the backcourt. Suleiman's had 2 big games here in this tournament already. Hood, Parker, and Jefferson, who had 15 rebounds in the win over Virginia during the regular season. For the Cavaliers, a very poised freshman in London, Parantes at the point. Malcolm Brogdon, Joe Harris, their top 2 players. Akil Mitchell, one of the best defenders in the country, and the big man in the middle is Mike Tobey.
I liked it before the game when Tony Bennett said, "Hey, Dick, we're not sexy, baby, the way we play." But you know what I said, Tony? You guys win. It's not about being sexy. It's about winning.
First possession of the game to the Blue Devils. And let's set some of the matchups for you. Joe Harris guarding Rodney Hood at the outset. And it'll be Akil Mitchell on Jabari Parker. Jefferson with a reverse.
Nice little 2-man play. Help defense slow, rotating over. Nice play right there by Duke to open the game.
Virginia plays a more deliberate style offensively. They use a lot of the shot clock. You don't get many games up into the 70s when you're playing against the Cavaliers. Most of them are down in the 50s. They allowed 55 points per game, best in the country. Parantes steps in. Mitchell won't shoot it. Tobey, a height advantage on Parker.
He is really a skilled player who's going to get better and better as his career goes on. He is really active down in the low post. Patience. They're all about patience.
Suleiman turns the corner. He did that tremendously well and often in the first 2 games in which they played. Jefferson misses the jump hook. Both of these teams got the double bye. For both of them, it's their 3rd game in as many days. Virginia, though, as the top seed, they played during the day session. Duke played at night Friday. And here they are, 1 seed versus 3 seed in the championship game.
They take a lot of time. They make you play defense for the full 35 seconds. You cannot break down or they'll get a layup.
Mitchell to Parantes, shooting the ball well at the end of the season. Brogdon for 3.
He's a very underrated player, not in the ACC, but nationwide. He can flat out play. I remember Jay Williams speaking so eloquently about him. And I'm telling you, I followed him from that moment, and the kid is really legitimate.
First team All-ACC according to the coaches. Second team All-ACC as judged by the media. A miss for Parker.
Well, you know, the big stars. Warren had 4 points against them. Page had, I believe, 9, and Parker had 8.
Harris misses the 3, and down with the loose ball is Tyler Thornton, who's really become a very important player for Duke. Mike Krzyzewski said he couldn't have anticipated he would have as big of a role, starting every game in the second half, playing a ton of minutes. He's a leader and a real intangibles guy on this Blue Devils team.
Yeah, he's got all that poise. He understands how to win. And sometimes you have to have those players rather than have 5 superstars on the floor who all want to score.
And Thornton's on Brogdon right now, giving up some size in that matchup.
He's a tough defensive player, very tenacious.
Mitchell to Tobey, corrals it. Nobody's guarding him, so he knocks it down.
He's got good touch, Dan. He's got good touch. There's electricity in this building. You can feel it. You can feel it, man. We felt it with the coaches. We walked out. I said to you, wow, these guys are really intense about today's game.
And Virginia fans are going wild early here today. As we mentioned, it's been a long time for them. Last in this game in 1994.
The last time they won it was Wally Walker, Mark Ivoroni.
The only time they won it was back in 1976.
Didn't win it in the Ralph Sampson era, even though they won the regular season with Ralph in '81.
Both of these teams obviously are going to get a high seed, but neither of the coaches was spending any time thinking about that here today.
I talked to Reese today on the Game Day show, and I firmly believe that the winner here, you can make a legitimate case for a #1 seed, even head-to-head, if Michigan wins the Big Ten.
I think the fans of both programs would hope that they would both wind up in Raleigh, regardless of whether they're a 1 or a 2 or a 3. Like to stay close to home if they can. Brogdon on the offensive glass. What a start for Virginia.
Well, Brogdon very active. Virginia coming out, taking that early lead. They're tough to beat if you allow them to have that lead. You'd like them to have to play catch-up to speed up the game for them. Look at the way they're aggressive on defense. Look at the help. Look at the help. Yesterday we saw big gaps and big seams going to the goal. You're not going to see that today. You're going to get help. Going to watch right here. Watch Brogdon sneak in for the offensive rebound. There he is. First he hits the 3. And then we're going to see on the offensive rebound as well, right there. Nobody blocks out. But a lost arts in college basketball. Block it out. Everybody wants to be a Skywalker and go right to the goal, and they don't find their man.
4 minutes in, and a 7-point lead for Virginia. Suleiman again surrounded. Nice bounce pass to Jefferson.
How good is Jefferson look? Moving without the ball. Really doing well. And the reason that he's open like that, the concentration is so much on Parker and Hood.
Both baskets that Duke has today belong to Emil Jefferson. Brogdon getting a good screen from Mitchell. Can't knock it down. And Toby's out of bounds to turn it back over to Duke. 5-point lead, Virginia in the early go.
And they were superb in that game. Beautiful building, too. Facility was unbelievable. The energy, the excitement. There's a lot of Virginia fans here this afternoon.
A team that didn't have a ton of injuries this year. They kind of knew who they were going into the season, and they played with that rotation all through the season. And two key players we're going to see off the bench. One of them is into the game right now in Anthony Gill. The other one is Justin Anderson, who was the ACC Sixth Man of the Year. Two terrific players they bring in off the bench.
Yeah, they really got a strong bench. That really solidifies them. They don't lose anything when they go to Anderson and when they go to Gill.
So just the one change for Virginia, none for Duke out of the timeout. Hood can't get inside. Toby stays in front of him. Just great guarding the ball, great help and recover, and a rejection by Mitchell on Parker.
Mitchell did a tremendous job staying right between him and the basket, not allowing him to get any kind of edge going to the goal.
Mitchell, a member of the ACC's all-defensive team.
You can see why they're in that possession.
They're just so sound.
And you got to really concentrate and focus when you play defense against them. One slight, just looking at the ball, wide open guys.
Harris to Brogdon.
There's great execution right there. Tremendous job of creating that opportunity for Brogdon. He's super, by the way. He's not just a good player. He is a super player.
He's got 8 of their 12.
Right now, the entire rhythm is all on Virginia. They're cohesive. Look at the defense on Parker right here. He says, you're going to have to shoot over me. And look at that defensive effort. No foul, great block with the left hand. Usually use the left hand with the right-handed shooter.
Remember, Parker went just 3 for 11, 8 points in the meeting between these two teams back in January.
They've had a history of stopping big-time scorers. Warren, as I said earlier, had 4.
Anderson in off the bench right now for the Cavs. Harris steps back. Three's a little short. Rebound Mitchell. And again, they're never in a rush. 4th rebound already for Mitchell as they kick it back out.
I'll tell you one thing about Harris. He can be such a big star as an individual player, but he's all about the team concept. Very unselfish, and he can make shots.
Taking fewer shots this year than he did last year. The team is deeper, more balanced. Gill from the baseline. It bounces free to Anderson. They kick it back out again.
Great effort right there to get a second opportunity. When they enter the tournament, I'm telling you now, and I told it to a number of people, they remind me of the great teams of Brad Stevens and those Butler teams.
And Gill is fouled by Parker. Marshall Plumlee, Quinn Cook into the game now for Duke. Cook a starter much of the season, mostly in the first half. Minutes have been down recently. Thornton's become, as we mentioned, a very important part. Suleiman's playing a ton right now. Mike Krzyzewski says there are just only so many minutes to go around, but Cook's still a big part of the team, obviously. Now good defensive stand by the Blue Devils. Hood. And it's a travel.
They're having a tough time offensively, getting any kind of rhythm. There's no cohesiveness at all. I think psychologically, man, that defense wears on you. Read about it. You read about the wall they form. Just like the Syracuse zone after a while. It wears on you. They're really struggling offensively.
Harris will sit down for Virginia.
Well, we've documented it, talked about it. Tony got so much from his dad, his proud papa, Dick. He did a phenomenal job. Green Bay and Wisconsin. By the way, Green Bay probably won't be in the big dance. They beat Virginia. They beat Virginia this year.
Virginia got blown out back in December by Tennessee, and they kind of regrouped after that. simplified things offensively, rededicated themselves defensively, and they've been sensational ever since.
What
another offensive rebound by Gill.
That was a big-time rebound. I mean, he went laterally, didn't get the rebound in his area. You can see why he's one of the premier guys, roll-aid specialists coming off the bench. He gives you instant help. Look at this rebound right here. Terrific job. He didn't need to put the ball on the floor there. That cost him a chance for a deuce.
Gill and Anderson, the talent of starters, but number 6 and 7 on this team. Darion Atkins into the game now for Virginia as Akil Mitchell sits down. Atkins likely to draw the assignment of Jabari Parker. We'll see how they line up. And he will. Only 2 baskets for Duke, both belonging to Emile Jefferson. And there's a Virginia foul.
Having a tough time getting their big 2. We talk about dynamite duos. There aren't many better in the nation than Hood and Parker. But right now, here in the first 7 minutes of this game, they've been negated by that defense, smothering defense of Virginia. You know, Duke averages close to 80 points a game. Gonna be tough to put 80 on a board against this club.
Remember, Virginia averages giving up only 55, best in the nation. Plumlee, too strong off the glass. Parker with a rebound.
He is going to have to earn any deuces he's getting today, Mr. Shulman. He's going to have to earn them big time. He is really going to have to earn his baskets. You watch here, the offensive rebound by Parker. Now look at the defense challenge him. Umbrella, put the hand straight up, make it very difficult. And he is battling, man. He is battling. You like to see that. He's like a warrior down there. You can feel the intensity that he has. That was a terrific effort he made right there. A lot of guys would have folded and quit. He went after it the second time. Watch this. Goes up strong. Said, come on, challenge me. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that.
You're as fired up as he is, right?
Oh, I'd love to coach a kid like this. Are you kidding me? To have an opportunity. So, Mike Krzyzewski, he loses Parker. He gets Okafor. Not too bad.
You can see that Parker had 38 points in the first 2 games of this tournament. He's going to get a brief breather here. You would imagine Josh Hairston is in, but there's a media timeout coming at the first whistle under 12, and Parker probably be right in shortly after that.
You know, we talked to Coach K about speeding up the tempo of the game, trapping, etc. Said very difficult to do against them. Good ball handlers. They're trying to put a little pressure on the ball here. They play at their pace. They don't panic. They play at their pace.
How about Plumlee with a steal? Numbers for Duke. And Hood rejected.
What a tremendous shot block.
Atkins again.
I mean, these are guys that bring it off the bench. Atkins and Gill. Gill and Mitchell, by the way, played in high school together. Out of Charlotte, home of our Mr. Billis. Here it is right here. Going to the goal. Look at the defense rotating over. I love teams that defend. You defend, you got a chance to win. That's why Florida's so good.
Well, guys, you know, his teammates appreciate his contributions, and it's not just when he's scoring. Rasheed Suleiman told me when he is going all out, when he's making a dunk, when he's making a steal, when he's playing his guts out, that is a boost of adrenaline for all of us. It's like a shot of energy, and it gets us to that next timeout.
You look at this Duke lineup right now. No Parker, no Suleiman. They're without some of their primary scorers on the floor right now.
And no threes. They're 0 for 0 shooting threes. They haven't had any shots from the 3. They challenge them on that perimeter. Good help and recovery.
Hood misses down in the post, and Gill down to get the rebound. Virginia's already got 3 blocked shots in this game, and both teams have 4 offensive rebounds. They're both really crashing the glass.
You know, Dan, I think the big stat to me that amazes me in 9 minutes of play, that Duke hasn't taken a 3 yet. Has not been able to get a 3 because of the defense really closing out on their shooters.
Second foul on Tyler Thornton. You can see the numbers, how strong Virginia's defense has been in the early going, and that's what they hang their hat on.
Well, the reason they give up only 55 a game. Great pride, play team defense, and they look to execute offensively.
They don't gamble, go for steals. They just play solid defense, help and recover, protect the paint. Gill inside, challenged by Plumlee, but the follow is there for Toby.
Beating him on the glass. Toby really a factor here. I'm really impressed with the early start here by Virginia, offensively and defensively. Very efficient.
Toby's 3 for 3 today. They don't expect to get a ton of offense out of him.
You know, their man-to-man defense has a lot of zone principles in it. The way they cover up on the lane for each other, slide, keep eyes on ball. Watch their players. Ball you man. They watch both at all times. The general was a great teacher of that at Indiana.
Shot clock at 4. Cook forces it. Follow no good. Tipped again. And we have a foul call, I believe, going against Josh Hairston.
How many easy shots have you seen Duke take here today? I've seen 2, both by Jefferson for the layups because of the concentration defensively on the big 2, Hood and Parker.
Subs coming for Duke. Suleiman, Parker, Jefferson all return. The officials today, by the way, Mike Eads, Tim and Esther, Jamie Lucky, outstanding crew working the championship game here in the ACC.
We got to keep an eye on that stat, Duke with the three-point shot, because as we know, that is their weapon.
When they beat them in January, they made 10 out of 22, and they only won by 4 points. Is this Parker? No, it's not. There is a Duke foul.
Jefferson.
I think it's Jefferson, yeah.
Jefferson
second on Jefferson. So Thornton's got 2, Jefferson's got 2, and there's the hold right there.
Yeah, Parker came across late.
First on Jefferson. Forgive me. The first on Jefferson. Parker's got 1. Thornton's on the bench with 2. Gill's at the free throw line.
You got to believe that Virginia's going to build off this too. Tony Bennett is the perfect hire. Frank Littlepage, a lot of people criticized him when he made that hire. Terry Holland didn't criticize him, and I know I didn't. I thought it was a great move. Because any guy that can win 69 games in 3 years down at Washington State, are you serious? That's special.
And Suleiman drives and draws the foul. It'll be on Harris.
People don't remember that Washington State, when he was there, they were challenging UCLA.
Yep.
And those were the great UCLA days with Ben Holler when they had those teams that went to the Final Four.
And there's his dad.
Oh, he's in the house.
Yeah.
He very rarely goes to games. Gets too nervous.
Harris and Gill will sit down. Brogdon and Mitchell will return.
Tony Bennett wants to win his first ACC title tournament. Mr. Krzyzewski's going for a mere 14. 14.
Coach K's been in this game. This is the 19th time. He's won 13 of the previous 18. Duke has won 10 of the last 15 ACC tournament championships.
It's impressive. Oh, that's a great drive. But look at the defense come over and make him take a tough shot. Now, most clubs, Dan, he's got a layup. But here, you don't have a layup. The rotation of the defense closes the angle on the drive.
And you think they get in your head a little bit, too, defensively?
I really do. I think it's like the Syracuse zone. Syracuse dilemma late is scoring points.
Mitchell to Toby. Not this time, and Jefferson down with another rebound for Duke.
Tell you one thing, Jefferson very active. He's animated, he's active. Tried to throw the lob, tough to make that play.
Stays with Duke.
Can you believe it? I never remember doing a game this year. We've done a number of Duke games where they haven't taken a 3 yet. That's amazing.
10.5 minutes in, haven't even attempted one.
It's not that they don't want to take threes. Virginia defends the 3 exceptionally well.
Tony Bennett said one of the keys today was how they close out on Duke shooters. Tipped up, no good. Jefferson still battling. Hood got a hand on it, and it's off a Virginia player out of bounds. It went off of Anderson out of bounds back to the Blue Devils. Tony Bennett does not like the call. Duke, one of the most prolific three-point shooting teams in the country. 39% as a team on the season. They make better than 9 a game.
Watch how Virginia closes out on the shooters. You watch how they close right out on the shooter. Say, beat us off the bounce. We're not going to let you stay and shoot that stationary 3. He finally gets an open look.
Parker misses the 3. Cook with the offensive rebound.
Oh, they get another one.
Hood hits it.
He shot that one from down in Raleigh, man. That wasn't a 3-point line. That was from Raleigh. That is their game. If they make threes, they are tough to beat.
Andre Dawkins, arguably their most prolific three-point shooter, did not shoot the ball well down the stretch, has not played a whole lot in the first 2 games that Duke's played in this ACC tournament.
He's had hardly any minutes at all.
Suleiman called for a foul.
Take a look where he's going to shoot this 3 from. There's Parker with the miss. They kick it back out. They're going to throw it right back out. I mean, he's way behind that line. He's got ability to shoot it. He's had a terrific year. Transfer, came out of Mississippi State.
And Dick, already bonus time for Virginia with 8:28 to go in the half.
That's certainly big.
Malcolm Brogdon knocks down the first.
Not a great shooting team on a free throw line. Shoots 66% as a team.
1 of 2 for one of their better free throw shooters in Brogdon. The lead is 7.
He shoots 88%. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Look at the way they step out on screens and then recover. They step out so well. They hedge well.
Suleiman the kick. Parker on the baseline. Good D again by Mitchell.
See how he beat him to the baseline? He used the baseline as a help. I'm going to tell you, he's been active. He looks like a star here tonight.
Yep.
This afternoon. Tonight, this afternoon, doesn't matter.
Emile Jefferson. A great start for Duke. And it's down to 5.
He's playing so active, too, defensively against Toby. Number 21, really active. You can see both these teams, how badly they want that gold trophy, ACC championship.
Parentes. And Suleiman corrals the rebound for Duke.
Parentes has gotten better and better as the year progressed. Wide open there. That's a wide open look.
And Parker can't hit it.
They're going to allow him to go in a way. They would rather see him shoot jump shots than attack the basket.
And look at that. Jabari Parker 1 for 8 so far today. He's missed a couple of threes, and he's had to work awfully hard, often double-teamed around the basket by the time he's able to get the shot off.
That's like 12.5%.
Parentes will try it again.
Look at him working the glass.
But Suleiman steals it.
Suleiman's had no looks. Cook's certainly capable of making threes. He's trying to beat him off the bounce. Tough to do. Tough to do.
And Suleiman called for the foul, his second, to take us to immediate timeout.
What a defensive play right. Brogdon stayed right in front of him. A terrific job.
So much on the line here this afternoon. ESPN's coverage of the NCAA Men's Division I basketball tournament continues later today. A special Sports Center at 5:30, bracketology at 7. Both shows also available live on Watch ESPN. It is officially Selection Sunday, Dickie V.
I got to go up to Charlotte, man. I hope that guy Reese gets me some ear time. If he does that, it'd be great. I just want to get a little. That's
just a little.
Reese, just a little.
Virginia had a bigger lead. It is down to 5 right now, but nothing's coming easily for Duke. Mitchell with a long jumper. Cook down with a rebound.
I think Cook could be a valuable player in this game. His ability to make some threes. He had some big ones yesterday against North Carolina State. That was a close game until one point when Parker made a dunk in transition. They took over the game.
Thornton back into the game with a couple of fouls. For Duke, that's because Suleiman just went out with his second foul that was committed before the timeout. Hood leaves it a little bit short.
You know, Dan, Duke has 8 offensive rebounds, but they have not been able to convert on the offensive rebound.
And Parker and Hood are a combined 2 for 14 today.
That's 1 for 7.
A steal. Thornton ahead to Cook for the uncontested layup, and the Blue Devils are back within 3.
And that's what they do well. They convert off the steal exceptionally well when they get in transition. I brought up the Duke fans. Look at this now. All of a sudden, the Dukies are standing up. Oh, a little bit reminiscent of Cameron Indoor Stadium. They're standing up cheering. It's been all Virginia.
The drought for Virginia, though, you can see that they have gone cold after being very efficient early. Parentes inside, whips a pass to Gill, who misses it.
Oh, he missed the layup. What a play by Parentes. Great two-man play. Should have had a layup right there.
And a great play by Hood to throw it out of bounds off a Virginia player.
They led 16-7. We're playing brilliantly. A nice hug right there. Hood and Coach K. Mr. Capo with a hug. This play right here. Right off his leg. Hey, pretty good IQ basketball-wise.
And Hood gets a breather now. Matt Jones is coming to the game, a freshman, a good defender. They don't look to him for a lot of offense, but he'll be at the 3 spot right now.
You know, when he came and arrived at Duke, the word was that he was a long-range, outstanding shooter. But he's made his mark to get minutes on the defensive side.
He'll wind up either on Brogdon or Harris. We'll see when Virginia gets the ball.
You know, we look at the fact you mentioned 2 for 14 and a down 3. You could say to a coach, well, you got to feel pretty good about that when our 2 stars are not giving us point production, and yet we're right there knocking on the door.
Parker battling with Mitchell. Mitchell got a piece again, but it's a foul this time, and Parker's headed to the free throw line.
Well, you know, if you're Coach K, you got to like that because he was aggressive on the drive. He created that opportunity. He's not going to get easy shots. He had one easy one from the 3. It didn't go down, but every shot he's going to take, he's going to be challenged.
Let's go to Janine.
Well, guys, you can feel that the intensity has been ratcheted up first by Duke, and that was what Tony Bennett talked about in that last timeout. He needs the Cavaliers to match their intensity. They've really cranked it up on the defensive end. He doesn't want his Cavaliers getting thrown off balance offensively, but they've got to match that intensity somehow, keep up.
Good point, Janine. Hey, I remember seeing on a baseline what you and Jay were doing the game, Pittsburgh against Virginia. And Tim Randall and I was sitting talking, and we both said, 1st to 50 wins. Is that going to happen here today? I mean, Duke's averages close to 80 points a game, 79 points something.
Back within 1.
It's got the Duke faithful really exploding now. Virginia having a tough time. Should have had a layup down at the other end. Prentice did a great job creating an opportunity. This is typical Virginia basketball. Every game right to the wire, grind it, battle.
And Parentes a reach-in foul on Cook, and with Duke already over the limit, that sends Virginia back to the line.
I told you earlier today, they're a team that can advance and really make a legit run for a Final Four, but they're also a team that can get knocked out early because everybody will be in the game with them.
They don't blow people out.
It's getting sexy.
Winning is sexy.
See, you're sexy, huh? That ball look, wow.
Parentes at the line as Thornton sits down again. How about this freshman who hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but a guy who plays with that same kind of poise and demeanor that we've so often and rightly so attributed to Tyler Ennis at Syracuse.
Yeah, he really has done a great job. Didn't come in as a heralded diaper dandy. They got him out of the West Coast, out of California. Nice assist to turnover ratio. Free throws can be big in this game. Coming down to the last 5 minutes, the free throw line. You know, Duke struggled on the line yesterday. Look at that help on Joe Parker.
Off Harris, still Duke's ball.
He's a kid I'd like to see to assert himself down a little more offensively. Harris is too good a shooter for not shooting the basketball. I don't think, has he taken more than 1 shot today?
Harris today 0 for 3.
0 for 3, not really.
0 for 2 on 3-pointers.
He's got to look to shoot the ball more. He's a good shooter. I love watching them play defense. See the concentration, the focus on each player. Watch the ball there, man.
Parker's step back 3 to tie the game.
And that was not an easy 3. That was not an open shot. He was challenged on that shot. We got a good one today.
Brogdon off to Gill, now finds Harris. Cross-court Brogdon misses the 3, and the Blue Devils looking for the lead.
Well, Duke got a little momentum now on their side. I think a big help was bringing Cook in. Cook, to me, is a catalyst on that team.
Spins out on Parker, Virginia ball, and a timeout on the floor.
Quick also does a good job defensively. He's been up and down as a player this year. Take a look at this right here. Talk about a step-back J, baby. Mr. Parker.
Keep in mind, both the ACC and SEC championship games are available in ESPN3 Surround, a new exclusive second screen experience on ESPN3 featuring unique camera angles, audio feeds, and crowd cameras in support of the biggest games we have for you on ESPN.
Should be an interesting matchup. Florida, Kentucky coming up after this game. Kentucky a chance to really resurrect their disappointing regular season. And this is a game, you know, not LSU, not Georgia. Playing Florida really gives you a measuring stick as to where you are.
Backdoor cut and the finish for Harris, the find by Parentes.
Parentes and Harris with a nice two-man play. Good cut backdoor.
Well-run play out of the timeout. Virginia back on top. The only Duke lead today was 2-0. Parker immediately double teamed. Tipped. Cook. Virginia ball. Parentes with a crossover and the kick to Brogdon.
They're about the 3 Ps, man. They're about patience, poise, and points.
Parentes couldn't quite get the shot off.
Very rarely, Dan, do you see him take a bad shot.
And Gill draws the foul. That will be on Parker, and that is the second foul on Jabari Parker.
I watched this pass by Parentes. Backdoor cut. There's Harris. Great visual contact between both. Look at the cut. Great timing in that. Warren did that exceptionally well against Duke early in the game.
Gill short on the first. Parker's going to sit down. In all likelihood, of course, for the final 2:23 of the first half. Matt Jones sits down as well. Marshall Plumlee's in for Parker. And for the first time today, we see Andre Dawkins in the game for Duke.
Well, the reason he brings Dawkins in right now is looking for some offense, especially with Parker going to the sideline. They got to get some offense on the floor.
Toby back for Gill.
It's amazing to have a weapon like that. I mean, Dawkins is a weapon. There's no doubt about it. We've seen so often how he's been a key catalyst in breaking games open with the 3.
But late in the season, when cold, saw his minutes go down after a crazy hot stretch earlier. But he is dangerous and still shoots well over 40% from 3. But he turns it over and commits a foul. No basket, commits a foul, and it's double bonus, so it's 2 free throws coming now for Akil Mitchell.
Well, at least he committed the foul because they had a layup. They had a layup. Now they got to make the free throws. As the turnover, defense steps right out. Foul there. They had a layup.
So Mitchell back to the free throw line for the Cavaliers. Again, known much more for his defense than his offense. Jamie Dixon, before the Pitt Virginia game, in fact, told us that he voted for Mitchell for ACC Defensive Player of the Year. An award won by KJ McDaniels of Clemson. Brogdon will sit down. Anderson is back. And UVA struggling at the line right now. Even with that make, just 7 out of 12.
Well, you know, Mitchell's a 42% shooter on the free throw line. Dawkins' confidence has to be a little bit shattered. When you don't play those minutes, it's got to wear on your mind. Got a tee on him. He wants to know why. I didn't see a confrontation with an official, did you? That certainly could give Virginia a lot of momentum swing. A 7-8 point lead by Virginia is like being down 15 against a normal scenario, normal tempo.
There's Jamie Luckey. We were told he is the official who called the technical. And unsportsmanlike technical on Mike Krzyzewski.
He had to utter something. Maybe profanity of some kind, because we didn't even see a confrontation between the two.
I think the gang in the truck, they've got a replay, and we're going to have it for you at the next whistle.
Big possession right here.
Dawkins for 3.
And that's what he does so well. He can change the complexion of the game with his ability to shoot that three.
Anderson to Parentes, open for a corner three, and the answer for the Cavaliers.
They are so patient. They make sure they get a legitimate good shot. Parentes has really elevated his game the second part of the season.
Hood for three as they're now trading baskets here in Greensboro.
Well, those threes start falling. That's a big plus. And certainly the Duke faithful love it.
Anderson, tough off-balance shot, cooked down with a rebound, and just about 1 second between game clock and shot clock, so Duke can pretty much hold it.
That's one of the first bad shots I've seen Virginia take with their possessions. Ideally, they'd love to get a great look for Dawkins.
4 to shoot. Hood. In and out. Parentes will miss the 80-footer, and that'll bring the first half to a close with the regular season champion Virginia Cavaliers leading Duke 28-25. All kinds of intensity and emotion in the building here today. This is the first whistle since the technical. Here's the replay so we can show it to you. This is at the end of the timeout. Then they started taking them, and they made them, as you can see, 4 out of 7, but they are still down by 3. Dan Shulman, Dick Vitale. I think everybody in the building just kind of catching their collective breath at halftime. Everybody expended a lot of energy in the first half. We expect the same in the second.
Well, they certainly did a great job defensively. When you looked at what Virginia did to put 25 points on the board against them, that means you're playing superb defense because Duke is a scoring machine. Technical foul there at the end, a little questionable. Bottom line is we did not hear the conversation what transpired, but he got him for flipping the pen to the bench, and that is unsportsmanlike, and that's what he nailed him with. But the bottom line is I don't know what transpired in the conversation.
We spoke to Jamie Lucky, both of us did, during halftime, and he had already gone over to Coach K, and I believe told him that, hey, you got to lower it a little bit. It's a little bit too much right now. You got to lower it. Jamie Lucky walked away. Mike Krzyzewski appeared upset, I guess, with the tone of that conversation, although hard to speculate. Turned around, fired the pen or the marker, I believe it was, towards the Duke bench, and Jamie Lucky teed him up there. And you saw the reaction from Coach K. 3-point lead, Virginia, underway here in the second half.
And according to the book, if you look at the definition of a situation like that's unsportsmanlike conduct. Here it is right now. Let's see what happens early. The big thing is you cannot fall behind 8-10 points against Virginia and think you're going to come back that easily. Now, I know in this scenario here, it's very important for the good defensive effort right there for Duke to make some good defensive plays themselves.
Keep in mind, 3 Duke players start the half with 2 fouls. Suleiman, Thornton, and Parker, who just came up with a steal.
Great defensive effort right there.
And Jefferson fouled by Toby.
He really wanted to jam that baby, but he couldn't get a good look.
Let's check in now with Janine.
Well, guys, Tony Bennett is expecting the Blue Devils to come out the second half and ratchet things up a notch. And he said, we cannot let them speed us up. We've got to keep doing what we're doing and work the ball to the inside. Well, Tony learned from one of the best in the business, of course, his father, Dick Bennett. And Dick told me, don't want to get into a possession game with these guys. I know Mike Krzyzewski is going to make adjustments in terms of being more aggressive, using their quickness, so we can't let them get to us. And he also said he'd like to see Joe Harris hunt his shot a little more.
I agree with him about Joe Harris. He's got to get some good looks. We've been talking about that during the telecast.
He was 1 for 4, just 2 points in the first half. Malcolm Brogdon 3 for 7 at 9 points. For Duke, Jabari Parker 2 for 10, 8 points. Rodney Hood 2 for 8, both of them threes, 6 points. So Parker and Hood a combined 4 for 18 in the first half.
And you're only down 2. That's a positive for Duke.
And Tyler Thornton just picked up his 3rd foul.
He had the same scenario yesterday, but they have the luxury of having a guy like Cook available.
Harris double team finds Toby.
Toby was really good early in the game, and they stopped going on. They got to get him some looks on the inside. Get Toby some touches.
He's got a big size advantage, whether it's Jefferson or Parker guarding him.
Yeah, make Parker play some defense. Get the ball into the big guy.
They do, but the pass gets away from him. Parker might have deflected it, and now back come the Blue Devils.
Yeah, it was not a good pass, not a good entry to the low post.
Parker thought about the 3, now steps in and knocks down a 16-footer.
He is such a good-looking talent. I told you yesterday, and I'll say it again if they didn't listen. If I'm making the first pick in an NBA draft and he's there, that's my choice.
Hood guarding Harris. Mike Krzyzewski talking to us passionately before the game about what an underrated defender Hood is, and nobody gives him the credit he deserves, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Harris hasn't had much of an afternoon so far.
Well, he never listens to us. He doesn't listen to us. We've talked about what a defensive job he did in the second half on Warren yesterday.
Suleiman rejected by Mitchell.
Mitchell really a warrior. He comes to play defensively, such a stalwart, just an outstanding player. He's a team player.
Parker pulls up again.
I ask you one question, Dan. How many McDonald's All-Americans you see on this club, Virginia?
0.
0. And yet they win. Take the same look at Wisconsin. Teams out there where they understand how to play as a team.
Harris comes off a screen and Virginia leads.
He's one of the better three-point shooters in the history of Virginia.
First points of the second half for the Cavaliers. If you weren't with us off the top of the show, we mentioned then, it bears repeating, Virginia has not been in the championship game since '94, and the only time they've won the ACC championship was 1976.
Used to love Wally Walker and Mark Ivoroni. Terrific.
Jefferson. Suleiman with a shot clock at 5. And the rebound down to Mitchell again, ahead to Harris. And he is fouled. It'll be Thornton, and that's going to be number 4 on Tyler Thornton, and Quinn Cook's already up off the bench.
Not bad when you can go to a guy like Cook, but Harris created that foul opportunity by taking the angle to the basket to create that, or he would have had a layup. Just a smart, heady basketball player. He went and met with the coach New Year's Eve. They got blown out by Tennessee, as you said earlier, by 35, not 5 or 10. Got blown out. He met with Coach, and he says, Coach, we're better than that, and we're going to get this thing done. It's my senior year. He and Mitchell got together with the team, and from that moment on, they've been outstanding.
Harris 1 of 2, and it's Virginia ball, but wait a minute. Jamie Lucky's coming down to talk to Mike Eads. Tim Nestor joins in as well, and they'll overturn the call.
Good bit of officiating to make the right call. Tony Bennett with a smile. No, not Tony Bennett. I love my heart in San Francisco. He said he met him, though. He met him one time when he played at Green Bay. Said Tony Bennett was coming in for a concert. He met him.
So now Cook and Suleiman in the backcourt for Duke with Thornton on the bench.
He walked.
Hood fouled by Harris.
I thought he walked prior to that.
Boy, Tony Bennett is fired up. There's your other Tony Bennett. He'll be here in April.
I saw him about 3 weeks ago, and I'm telling you, for 87 years of age, he didn't miss a beat. He's my idol, man. He's my idol.
Virginia fans thinking Hood got away with a walk. Jefferson winds up with a bucket.
What a good game Jefferson's having.
Yep.
Really playing hard. He's playing with a lot of emotion.
9 points now for Jefferson.
You know, it's amazing, Dan. Both teams, you can see the focus defensively. You can see them really, oh, what a nice drive.
Malcolm Brogdon with a layup to extend the lead back to 3 for Virginia.
What I love about Brogdon, he's so versatile. He can beat you with the 3, he can take it to the rim. This is fun, man. This is fun. You guys, a lot of energy in the house.
This is intense.
Oh, you can feel the intensity.
And the foul called on Akil Mitchell of Virginia. Timeout on the floor. Cavaliers still leading by 3.
Going to take a look at Jabari Parker, the diaper dandy. Going to watch him right here defensively. There's the deflection as they try to enter the ball to Toby. Then we're going to see a little medium-range jump shot. Great touch. Well, he and Wiggins would be my choices, either 1 or 2. For example, somebody like maybe Fran McCaffrey, Iowa, Nebraska, these teams are a little nervous today when they see those selections come out. Unbelievable. It is nervous wreck time and incredible.
Duke shooting the 3 well, not often, but well. But look at how hard they've had to work to get some decent looks inside the arc. Just 7 for 28, and that's what Virginia is known for. Among the things they're known for defensively, protecting the paint, defending the rim. Tough turnaround by Parker, who looks like he's ready to shoulder a pretty big load here in the second half.
Very strong with his legs, shooting that jump shot, uses body exceptionally well, seals off the defensive player.
Harris open again, left it well short. And Mitchell tried to save it. It hit a Duke player, then bounced back and hit him when he was standing out of bounds, so it's Duke ball.
See, I think on offense a little bit, Virginia's got to get some touches to Toby to really make Parker have to play defense. Wear him out a little bit on the defensive end.
The only lead of the game for Duke was at 2-0. But they've got it again, thanks to Parker again.
Parker sensational. Said it earlier, say it again. He'd be my first pick, and I can understand Wiggins possibly as well.
And Brogdon gives the lead right back to Virginia.
What a game, man. What a game. Brogdon with a little medium range jump shot.
A foul on Brogdon. To get here, Duke defeated Clemson and then North Carolina State. And Virginia defeated Florida State and Pittsburgh. Virginia, the regular season champs. Duke finished 3rd.
You know, Duke got a little lucky break in the end of that game with Clemson. Could have been a foul call there at the end. Incredible performance, good effort by Clemson.
Suleiman stumbling towards the basket and misses the shot, and another rebound for Mitchell. That's his 9th already. Brogdon, nice look. And Gill misses, gathers again, and draws the foul. Very frustrated with himself that he couldn't slam it down.
Well, right there, should have taken the ball right to the goal. He made the unselfish play, giving the ball to Gill, and Gill doesn't finish it off. There's the look inside. He's got the jam. Hits the rim. It's a rim breaker. And then he gets fouled. He's got to earn him on the free throw line.
He had a big game against Florida State earlier in this tournament. Had 16 points in that quarterfinal win over Florida State. And then yesterday came back with 10 points and 5 rebounds off the bench against Pitt.
Well, they're 2 of the premier players coming off the bench in the conference. When you look at Gill and Anderson, you know, Virginia right now, if they win, they have 28 wins. That'll be the first time since 1982-83 when they won 29 in that year.
But they are leaving some points on the line. They're 11 out of 18 as a team from the free throw line.
We said the free throw line could be big, especially at the end of this game.
Hood. And he draws the foul.
You know, every play is challenged, even right there. He was challenged on that shot. Same thing with Parker. All his points, he's had to earn them here today.
Second on Brogdon and Rodney Hood to the free throw line. Hood so far today, 2 for 8. Both of them threes, 6 points. That's it so far today for Hood, who averages better than 16 a game.
And that can be attributed to the tough, tenacious defense of Virginia.
Justin Anderson in for Joe Harris.
Very explosive athlete. Going to give Harris a little break. Anderson's a guy that can really get to the rim. He's explosive. Little full court pressure. Really tough to speed them up. I know teams say, well, speed them up. Pressure them, trap them. Easier said than done. More capable handlers. This point guard Parentis has gotten better and better and better. He's matched up with Cook. Look at the focus of Cook. Look at his eyes defensively. Get over the top of the screen.
And fouled by Cook. as he kind of got a knee into Parentis. Well, you don't see Parentis make many bad decisions at all. If you didn't know he was a freshman, you don't see many freshman mistakes from this kid all season long.
Well, you don't see them from him, and you don't see a lot of mistakes from the Virginia team, period. They really execute so well and so efficient. Free throw line's going to be big here. Last 5 minutes of the game are going to be determined by that free throw line.
Gill. And that should be Virginia ball, and it is. It was off Parker.
Well, Parker should have went up with that with 2 hands. He tried to do the 1 hand, snag that ball. Got to go up there, grab that with 2.
Duke won the only regular season meeting. That was at Cameron, 69-65. A huge 3 from Rasheed Suleiman with 18 seconds left was the big shot in that game. The shot, as you may remember, came from the corner, hit the rim, bounced about 8 feet up in the air, and dropped through the basket.
They were down 1 when he made that 3.
Anderson fouled by Suleiman, then he ran into him again. Suleiman picks up his 3rd foul. And Anderson, he's a load at about 6'6", 225.
Tell you one thing, Suleiman's really been quiet in this game. Had a big game against them that first matchup, but been quiet here.
And he'll sit down. No points, 3 fouls. Dawkins back into the game for Duke. Dawkins, the designated shooter, and he made the only 3 that he took in the first half.
Tough to get him a lot of looks for the 3 because they're aware of that in the scouting report, and they're right up in his face.
Mitchell, nice move.
Great offensive movement on the inside by Mitchell. He, again, to this system, is a special player.
What an underrated player he is. It will stay with Duke.
Gonna watch Mitchell now get the ball in the post area. There it is, down low. Nice little jump shot.
And a 3-point lead for Virginia.
Try to get Parker some room, some space.
That's a tough shot.
Real tough
again,
shot.
Good D by Mitchell.
Hasn't had many open looks. Everything he has is really a tough situation to score. Look at that patience, so unselfish. If I have one criticism, I think Harris is too unselfish.
Anderson looking for help, finds Brogdon.
I want to pick up that dribble.
Brogdon sneaks along the baseline, but he is called for the offensive foul, using the left arm to create a little space. Number 3 on Malcolm Brogdon.
That could be big with him going to the bench.
So Brogdon sits down with 3. Suleiman is on the bench with 3.
There he gets him with the hook.
And Marshall Plumlee's back into the game now for Duke for the first time here in the second half.
Well, Plumlee will set some big screens. He'll use that body. He's a space eater.
Set one for Dawkins, who gets the bounce.
He's got 2. That's what he does. That's what his reputation is. That's what the scouting report says. But you got to stop him. You can't get him those looks.
Cook knocks it away. Jefferson the steal. Numbers for Duke. Dawkins again.
Oh, that baby was in. That baby was in. They got the shot they wanted. Transition, they ran for the 3 rather than a layup, and they got in their hands of the right guy.
Duke fans were about ready to blow the roof off this building.
That same pace. They never panic. They play the same tempo.
Harris.
Oh, he can stroke it, man. He's got to look to shoot the rock.
Virginia back on top. Hood. And Jefferson there to clean it up as his productive afternoon continues.
He has really been so active right from the get-go. First couple minutes, he made 2 good plays in this game, and he hasn't stopped. Very active, very aggressive.
Parentis. Now Mitchell looking for help. 9 minutes into the second half, the ACC championship on the line as Cook is called for the foul to take us to a timeout. Joe Harris. Dickie V, you said he's got to hunt his shot a little bit more. He came off the screen, squared his body beautifully, and got a good look.
Yeah, he really did. Got that great look. Let him square that body. He's
10 championship game. St. Joe's and VCU tied up at 40. Rams in white, and with the ball, the freshman Jordan Burgess penetrates, kicks it out to Travion Graham, who knocks down the three. St. Joe's answered with a bucket. 11.5 to go. 1-point lead for the Rams. Scotty Wilbekin, the player of the year in the SEC, the Wilba Beast, ready to go after Kentucky and try to give the Gators an SEC tournament title.
Reese, ESPN's coverage of the NCAA Men's Division I basketball tournament continues later today after the SEC championship game with a special sports center at 5:30, and then at 7 it's bracketology. Don't miss all the latest news and analysis as our panel of experts, including the man sitting right to my right, will break down for you on the field of 68.
I don't know about an expert, but I'll tell you this. Reese Davis is unbelievable. The way he orchestrates that whole scenario, I have so much respect for what he achieves in there. Saying all those good things, you think he can hear me? Maybe I'll get more air time.
Let's check in with Janine.
Well, guys, we mentioned that at halftime, Tony Bennett was wary of Duke trying to come out here and trying to speed them up. And basically, that is what's happening. And that's what he's been addressing with his team in this last time out. They have been disrupted in their passing lanes and how they want to move the ball. They've been kind of thrown out of their offense the way they want to run it because of Duke's pressure. So right now, that's what they're trying to battle. Get into their offense, get it back.
All right, Janine, thank you. A 2-point lead now with Joe Harris at the line. And a lot more productivity out of him at the offensive end in the second half than here in the first. And Jabari Parker is getting set to check back in now for Duke.
Just a typical Virginia game in a big game. Really playing it tough, controlling tempo.
And Dawkins becoming a real factor. He's hit a couple of threes, now trying to drive inside. Didn't get the basket or the foul, and it's Virginia ball.
See, that's not his game. They made him do something he doesn't want to do and is not comfortable doing. And that's a key on the defensive end. You know, Virginia, you look at their losses, they lost, as Reese was talking about, Virginia Commonwealth, they lost to VCU by 3. That's one of my sleeper teams come tournament time. Keep an eye on VCU and Oklahoma State.
Gildo Anderson.
It's amazing their patience. Oh, the turnover. I mean, that was telegraphed, that pass.
Parker, another steal. He's going all the way.
Oh! Same scenario as yesterday. The steal about this time. And they made that incredible play, and they gave a spark to the team, and they wanted to spurt and broke the game open against North Carolina State. This was a duplicate. The steal, he said, forget about it. I'm going to length of the court. You're going to watch this right there. There's the steal. And he finishes, man. He finishes. Are you kidding me? There is nobody. If I'm drawn, I want that kid. I want him to play for me. If I'm drafted.
Meanwhile, at the other end, what does Virginia do? They come down, they execute, they get to the free throw line, and Parker picks up his third foul.
And they missed the free throw. That's going to be big.
Yeah. Dawkins out, Suleiman back in. So Suleiman, Parker, and Cook are all playing with 3 right now for Duke. Thornton's on the bench with 4. And again, 1 of 2. As you mentioned, as I've mentioned, Virginia's leaving some points on the free throw line today.
Well, that can be big coming down the stretch. The one thing about Duke, you mentioned with threes, I mean, obviously Hood and Parker are in another category if they're in foul trouble. But all the other guys are basically interchangeable. It's great to see a game well played. Only 10 turnovers, basically, in the game between both clubs.
Cook the drive. Jefferson's had a nice afternoon, already double figures. Parker elevates for a 3. And Duke is back on top for the first time since it was 2-0.
Is this stock going up, up, and up? I would like to have a piece of that stock, man. It's going up and up. I had to call my broker up.
Harris has it deflected. Brogdon winds up with it, has it rejected, and Toby is there to finish.
Nice finish by Toby. I think they're missing out one point in this game, Virginia. Not getting more touches inside to Toby. We got a great one, man.
Man, is it electric here today.
And he's electric. He's absolutely electric. He's the 3S man. He's super, scintillating, sensational. He's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
He loved skiing. He loved skateboarding.
Between Duke and Virginia, and Jabari Parker has been a monster here in the second half with steals, with dunks, with threes, with pull-up jumpers. He struggled in the first half, but he has been the dominant player in the game here in the second half.
And he's catching the ball, facing up. Got 7 points in the last minute 24. Martier lays on me, our stat expert. Unbelievable, some of the plays he has made.
And look at what he's done in the second half. 2 for 10, 8 points in the first, 6 for 8, 13 points in the second, yet it's such a tight game. Duke just took the lead at 47-46. Virginia has led almost the entire game.
If this was a Final Four game, they'd be talking about this game for months and months and months. This is really an intense, emotional battle. We saw it right from the get-go when we met with both coaches. They were so intense. We commented when we walked out of the locker room.
And Virginia fans watching something they haven't seen in 20 years. That's the Cavaliers in the ACC tournament final. They haven't won it since '76. Duke's won 10 of the last 15. 13 they've won under Coach K. 19 they've won in program history as Gill is heading back to the free throw line.
Well, they moved so well without the ball. That was an example of Gill going down and gutting the defense, great motion and movement, but now he's got to convert at the free throw line. Now we're starting to get to a danger time where you can't miss free throws because they're going to be so big in this game coming down the stretch.
Parentis is on the bench right now. You don't see the freshman point guard sit down very often. The numbers aren't big, but he's a huge key, obviously, to them running their stuff. He sits very briefly. Brogdon will man the point while Parentis is out.
You're right, Dan. He's a steady influence. Yeah. Oh, good rebound. They didn't block out. That's a no-no. Jefferson did not block out on the lane, and it gives him a second opportunity.
Harris.
Let's see if they take advantage of it.
Brogdon. Mitchell the tip, but Cook's got it for Duke.
Run, baby, run. They're trying to get in transition.
And Hood with the drive. Parker misses the follow. And down to Gill. Boy, it's a battle for every rebound and every loose ball. Harris going right to the rim.
What a terrific play by the senior, the captain. Oh, yes.
Timeout on the floor. Virginia back on top. Joe Harris in his senior year trying to end his ACC career with a championship. Virginia and Duke are fighting hard for it right now, and Duke's got some foul trouble. Suleiman just picked up his 4th on that drive by Harris. Thornton's got 4 as well. Cook and Parker each with 3. So out of the timeout, Suleiman went to the bench. Thornton came back into the game.
Well, you know, interchangeable here except for Mr. Parker. Cannot replace him. He is special and unique.
And a chance for a 3-point play for Joe Harris. Very strong move to the goal by Harris.
He got the ball, the drop for him, had a good spin on it. Got to make that free throw, though.
They are 15 of 25.
That could come back to bite them. You saw that beautiful trophy. Coach K's got 13 of them.
Hood. And a reach-in foul. I believe it's Harris. And that'll be the 7th team foul on Virginia, so that's going to put Duke to the line for 1-and-1. And it's on Parentis, I believe. It is on Parentis, not Harris, his 2nd, but it is the 7th, so bonus now for Duke. And Rodney Hood, one of the better free throw shooters in the ACC.
He's a little bit tired, I think, really, when you think about playing like they did, the pace of the game, 3 days in a row. Nice stroke right there. I don't think many transfers at Duke. When you think about it, it's like 4, right? Yep. Transfers.
And they all turned into all ACC players. Put among them second team all ACC this year. Makes them both tied again.
Special player, no question. He has a good future at the next level. The coach we just saw has a pretty good future too. He's got a chance. He's got a chance to get a renewal on the contract. Look at the focus defensively. Concentration, watching the ball. You want to go in any fakes?
Gill posting up on Jefferson. And a chance for 3.
Nice post move inside. I thought they got away from that offensively. Early in the game, they were utilizing that with Toby. Go inside a little bit more. Gill made himself nice and wide in the post. Great up and under. It's nice when you can bring a guy like this off your bench.
He has had 3 very good games here in Greensboro. Another miss, though. He's 6 for 13. The team is 15 for 26 from the free throw line.
We talk about that often on our free throw line. We can talk, about everything about the game. Simplicity.
What a move by Parker, discarding Mitchell.
I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever. You don't have to go to Harvard to figure out. If Duke wins, he's MVP. First freshman since Brandon Wright in 2007. But I ask you, Virginia wins, who's MVP?
Parentis off to Gill, who's going back to the free throw line again. That's the tough thing with Virginia. They're
give it to the team. Give it to the team.
Yeah.
You saw a 1-on-1 before the game. We did Parker versus the team.
And Dick, that's the 4th on Jefferson. So Plumlee's going to take his place.
Saw Jefferson get foul trouble in a close nail-biter up at Syracuse. Baylock smasher. He's an important player when he's played well, unlike he did against Syracuse, or like he's doing here today. What a nice performance off the bench. 3 consecutive games, as you said, Mr. Shulman. See, I call you Mr. because it's an honor to work with such a giant in the business.
You better call Mr. Davis, too. You better take good care of Reese also.
I will. Call Dr. D.
Virginia back on top.
They really dig in defensively. People watch how they help one another. They communicate. A key part of playing good team defense is communication. Got a lot of zone principles in that man-to-man.
Hood will lay it in, and he got freed up by a good ball screen by Plumlee.
He utilized that ball screen exceptionally well, and that's what the big space eater body of Plumlee gives you.
Plumlee set 5 screens on that possession. Just kept screening people until somebody could take advantage of it.
Oh, nice cut without the ball. Oh, what a cut without the ball. Great pass. Brogdon with the cut. Come on, man. This is a clinic. This is Clinic 101 on how to play team basketball.
Joe Harris to Malcolm Brogdon. Virginia back on top. 53. Now Virginia's up by 2. 55-53 with 5 minutes and 45 seconds of intense basketball still to come.
Every time it looks like Duke's going to go on a spurt, Virginia has an answer. They double up, trying to get the ball out of his hands.
And Thornton airmails one over the Duke bench.
That was a bad possession, man. Looked like he was trying to throw the ball to Coach K or Wojo or Capel.
Duke trying to manage some foul trouble with 5.5 minutes to go. That was the first Duke turnover committed in the second half. This game, it might not wind up in the 80s, but it's been played at a very, very high level.
Yeah, really doing a great job with each possession, trying to get high percentage shots. They know each possession is so valuable.
Harris the drive. And the foul is there.
What a tip. Was that Mitchell? I think it was Mitchell with the tip. What a tip by Mitchell. He's a warrior, man. Listen to those Cavs fans. Oh, they want it. They haven't won this tournament since 1976. I was a kid then.
Harris more aggressive in the second half, and Akil Mitchell with his 12th rebound of the game, and this one he taps back in.
What great timing on that. Tremendous timing.
Look at those eyes.
Concentration. Look at that nice tip with the fingertips. Want to utilize the fingertips, no palm.
As you mentioned, Dick, Virginia's only ACC tournament championship came back in 1970.
Where do you get that energy, that enthusiasm? I said, you know why? Passion for life. Love people like I love Janine. Go ahead, Janine. We're going to go to you.
Well, Dick and Dan, the focus right now for Virginia, making stops, but not individual stops. Collectively, as a team, making it as difficult as possible for Duke to score. And I can tell you one thing that Joe Harris said. He said, we have the confidence to a man. Every guy on this team feels like if we need a stop on the final play of the game, we're going to get it.
What a great second opportunity right there, Janine, by Duke to come up with another chance. Good offensive rebound.
Parker follows it, no. Gill down with the rebound for Virginia.
Had a great effort there, but came up empty. I think you look at Virginia, if they win, you and I were joking at a break, Harris got to be the MVP.
He had 20 in the first game against Florida State. He's got a dozen in each of their last two. And for Virginia, those are pretty big numbers, low possession games. But over 4 minutes to go before you have to worry about that. Virginia trying to win that team championship. Good look. Brogdon, step back, tough angle, and another offensive rebound and another chance to go to the free throw line for Gill.
I'll tell you, Gill does a phenomenal job getting great position on the weak side. He does a terrific job, anticipates really well, because you shoot from the left, the ball usually go over to
time. In just under 23 minutes, Julius Randle and his 20 big double-doubles is set to lead Kentucky against the #1 team in the country, Florida.
Andres, thank you. Back to the free throw line again. Anthony Gill after the 4th foul committed by Jabari Parker. So 4 Duke players now have 4 fouls. Gill's been ultra aggressive all day long. That's why he's been to the line so much, and he finally makes both. He's now 10 for 17. One guy's got 17 free throw attempts. Duke as a team has only 9.
Exactly. He comes off the bench, too. He didn't start the game, Gill. You know, that's another good point, Dan. They don't foul Virginia, so they're not going to give you chances to go to that line and get easy points.
Parker driving.
It's tough for him to get space. Tough for him to get space. That was a tough chance there.
It's still loose, and it's finally out of bounds to Duke. This is the largest lead that Virginia has had in the second half. They're up by 6. They're 3:26 away from an ACC tournament championship. Suleiman, Jefferson, Cook, Parker, all in the game for Duke, and all with 4 fouls.
You know, in most cases, you wouldn't say this is big with 3:23, but when you're down 6 against Virginia, they better convert in this possession. Because they shorten the clock, they reduce possessions.
Hood working hard, and he will convert.
That was a big-time play. You expect big-time players to make big-time plays. The last 2 shots by Duke, who took them? Parker and Hood. They know their strengths. They have great definition as to who should shoot the ball. And right there, Hood with the score. Once he gets in that lane, he's almost unstoppable.
Misses the free throw. One of the best free throw shooters in the ACC, Rodney Hood, but it's still a 4-point game. Duke might ramp up the pressure here, Dick, on the ball.
They'll try to ramp it up, but it's not going to ramp up the speed of the game because they're going to play at their pace, their tempo.
Parentis lost the handle.
Yeah, the ball slipped out of his hands.
Cook, nice. Oh, and Parker lost it, but it hit Mitchell, who was standing out of bounds, so it's Duke's ball.
Parker had himself the easiest shot of the day. The easiest shot. Great play by Cook. He knows he's trailing. One kid from the Windy City to another kid from the Windy City.
What a crazy sequence that was.
That was unbelievable. Mike Krzyzewski not happy with that sequence because they had himself an easy layup.
Suleiman.
About time he made a big play.
It's a long two for Suleiman, and Duke is back within 2.
He has struggled here this afternoon.
First field goal of the game. Remember, he had 21 in the win over Virginia back in January.
We talked about how a free throw line now in the last 2 minutes can be vital. Concentration, focus here by both clubs, looking for high percentage shots.
Brogdon doesn't get one.
Oh, but he does.
Mitchell there.
Hanging in the right place. Oh, look at that bench, man. Do they want it? Look at that Virginia bench. Oh, do they want it in Charlottesville? Bring this home, this gold trophy.
Parker spinning, knocked away by Mitchell.
What a play by Mitchell. You know, he doesn't have a lot of stats, but he could be an MVP as well.
He's got 14 rebounds in this game. Harris is open. Cook is rejected. Virginia's got it again.
Virginia's starting to smell that championship. First time in 1976, a long time.
Harris the drive. And down with the rebound is Parker. Tony Bennett grimacing. Wanted a little more clock to be run on that possession. And Cook comes back to hit a 3.
You're right. There's no doubt about it. It was kind of surprising there by the senior Harris taking that shot too quickly.
Tony Bennett just touched his temple and pointed at Harris as if to say, you got to be smart out there. This game is not over yet.
And he's normally very cerebral. 38 years, man, they've been waiting to try and bring that trophy back home. Gonna take a look right here. There's Mitchell in great rebound position. The ball comes over to him, and he gets the layup. And then look at Coach K. He can't believe it. He's gonna drop to his knees. Does he want it? And then we're gonna see right here. Ball deflected.
And it winds up with Harris hitting a 3. Harris is up to 15 points. The bench is loving it, but then maybe an ill-advised drive by Harris. Couldn't convert. Duke came back down in transition. Cook hit a 3, and there's a lot of time left, Dick. It's only a 4-point game with a minute 26 to go.
Absolutely. Minute 26 is so many things can happen. The one thing, though, with Virginia, the way when they get the ball and use that shot clock, it reduces the possessions of a game.
More excitement coming your way next on ESPN. The SEC championship game from Atlanta, Kentucky, and the #1 ranked team in the nation, the Florida Gators.
Right now, Duke applying a lot of pressure on the ball. Virginia has struggled a little bit on the free throw line. They're probably going to have to make some free throws. As Brogdon, a little one-on-one, good spacing, 15, 17 feet apart. Make it tough to get any help.
Brogdon getting by Suleiman.
Oh, what a beautiful drive. He got a great lane to the goal. It's a terrific job. Tony Bennett wanted a timeout.
Tony Bennett showed some good quickness there to get out on the court and call that timeout before Duke inbounded the ball.
He was one heck of a player when he played. He's the all-time leader in shooting the 3 in the history of the NCAA. I think it was 49%.
49.2%.
Think about that. You can't do that if nobody guards you in practice.
Brogdon, a little hesitation, got by Suleiman.
And nobody rotated over. Parker never saw the ball. See, his back's to the block. You got to see ball, you man.
Good seal.
I used to like the fact of having the human error involved. You can have some games that take you about 5 hours, I guarantee you. You can earn your money, big fella.
And 2 seconds back on, up to 105. Duke has won more ACC championships than anybody at 19. And Mike Eads, the official today, coming over to the table again and saying us that it was at 105 when Tony Bennett was asking for the timeout. And 2 seconds ran off before Jamie Luckey could hear him. And you can't fault an official for not being able to hear in this building today, Dick.
Absolutely. The place has been energized from the moment we got here.
Duke ball.
Have to score. They got to put points on the board in this possession to have a chance to win.
Cook misses the layup.
And the quick foul, stop the clock, make free throws, they got the gold trophy. They don't, they make it a little more interesting. What a terrific year by the kids from Virginia. Just a terrific year. Think about it. Got beat by 35. Got beat by VCU earlier this year. You talk about regrouping and getting mentally tough and developing that winner's mentality.
They lost to Duke back in mid-January at Duke by 4. And then they went on a long winning streak before losing their regular season finale at Maryland, a game that didn't mean anything in the standings. They had already clinched the outright ACC regular season championship. So on the verge of winning both the regular season and tournament championship in the ACC as Hood drives, slips, finds Suleiman. Desperation shot. Virginia rebound again. Another foul. And they can smell it now here in Greensboro.
Suleiman got hit with a tee. I believe it was Suleiman got hit with a tee. They're huddling right now, but I think he got hit with a tee. Virginia, what a year. Lost to Green Bay earlier this year. They had a tough break losing their tournament, but had a phenomenal year.
So Suleiman is out of the game. The personal foul was on Dawkins. If Suleiman did get teed up, a technical's also a personal, and Suleiman had 4, so he's done.
I think it was a tee on Suleiman. That's my gut feeling. The referee's huddling up, talking about it. Going to look at the monitor.
So let me ask you this, Mr. Vitale. First, we'll pause again. Tim Nestor is going to come over and clear this up for us. And Tim Nestor confirming for us it is a technical. That's his 5th. He's out of the game. They'll shoot the 2 free throws for the technical first and then shoot the 2 free throws for the personal foul that was committed by Dawkins. So I don't think we're jumping the gun too much for me to ask you this question.
I know what you're going to ask me.
Is number 1 Florida, Wichita State, Arizona. Is Virginia going to get the last number 1? Is Michigan going to get it? If they win, who's going to get that last number 1?
Well, I think Michigan's going to get it. I think when you look at Michigan's strength of schedule, you look at the Big Ten from top to bottom, you look at some of the teams they played in terms of lost tough to Duke, lost tough to Arizona at home. I think Michigan will get it. Now, obviously,
if they win today or no matter what?
No, if they win.
Oh, if they
don't win,
yeah.
If they don't win, I would slide Virginia in there if I were doing it. But I'm not doing it. We have to ask the expert, Joe Lunardi. He lives there with those charts. But if the VBDI was saying it, I'd say Michigan, if they win the Big Ten, both the regular season and the tournament, they get the number 1 seed. But if they get beat by Michigan State, which is a strong possibility, my gut, I feel that Michigan State's going to be superb today.
Keep in mind, both of these schools can wind up in the same sub-regional in Raleigh, because it's not like the 2 pods then go to the same regional and play each other. And ultimately, where you are and what kind of a matchup you have might be more important than whether you're a 1 or a 2.
Well, the one thing about Virginia, capable of beating anyone, the people can beat them as well. We saw with the Green Bays. Oh, it's
How did that go in?
It's going to be a 4-point play. Time on that clock.
Dawkins with a miraculous shot from the corner, and Harris said he didn't do anything, but he's called for the foul, and Dawkins has a chance for a 4-point play.
Tell you one thing, you talk about a specialist. You got guys in baseball, those relief specialists, the guys in the 8th inning, etc. This guy's a shooting specialist.
Left the free throw way short. And Duke has to continue to foul.
Well, the parties, I'm sure, are beginning down at a beautiful campus in Charlottesville, Virginia. They have earned a double dipper, man. The regular season and the ACC tournament. First time in, what, 38 years?
First time since '76, only the 2nd time ever, if they go on to win this, that they will win the ACC tournament championship. At the conclusion of the game, you can go to ESPN3 to watch exclusive live coverage of the trophy presentation here from Greensboro. And we want to thank all the great people here at Greensboro, in the Coliseum and around the city. Great host once again for a great 5 days of basketball.
They do a tremendous job. John Swafford and his people, Matt Brown, the building director, the media, looking at Ed Harding to my right, writes here in the Greensboro paper. I mean, just great. It's always fun to come down here. And Dan, I want to say it's been terrific again.
A great fun year. Another fun year. Our thanks to Phil Dean, Doug Holmes, and the great crew that we have the privilege of working with all season long as well.
Get a little emotion here because really hope to be back here next year, but really a terrific year. Had a great time working with you.
Dawkins steps out of bounds.
Virginia right from the get-go, defensively, offensively. Duke challenged and battled and fought. But this club with that experience, I mean, Mitchell was terrific. Harris made big plays. The celebration is starting. They are champs. C-H-A-M-P-S. Courage, heart, attitude, mental toughness, pride, and just super.
Let the celebration begin in Charlottesville. And going to be a pretty good celebration here in Greensboro for fans of the Wahoos as well. The Virginia Cavaliers, ACC regular season champions and tournament champions. Proud Papa Dick Bennett here. Son Tony, the ACC Coach of the Year, as Virginia defeats Duke 72-63. And now both of these fine programs can turn their attention to later on today, where they're headed.